A warning for motorcyclists.
It's a dangerous road really for every driver.
Why one stretch of Stoney Trail is a cause for concern. Plus, advanced voting starts in a southern Alberta by-election.
It represents the weight of the memory, and the glass is a kind of like material that can preserve forever.
And how an artist is capturing the Crossroads Market's history.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Camilla Di Giuseppe.
Good evening. 4 serious motorcycle collisions along a stretch of Calgary's Ring Road have riders and police urging the motorcycle community to be cautious. Stoney Trail between 16th Avenue and Shaganappi Trail has been a dicey and sometimes deadly area this year. Tim Brooke reports.
It's a busy day of learning at the Too Cool Motorcycle School.
If you're a doctor, you just didn't wake up and you're a doctor. You woke up, I want to be a doctor. Where's my pathway to education?
Over the years, tens of thousands of riders have gone through these courses. Its teacher says tens of thousands more could use the training.
The first day is just fundamentals. We learn how to practice how it makes a difference on the road. The second day, now we're dealing with emergencies and more technical stuff.
That last bit, emergencies and more technical stuff, is important these days, especially here. This stretch of Stoney Trail between 16th Avenue and Shaganappi Trail had 2 total collisions from 2022 to 24. This year, there have been 4 already. 3 have involved motorcycles, and 3 of the 4 have been fatal, including this crash under the Crowchild Trail underpass, where a man lost control and died at the scene.
Stoney is a dangerous road really for every driver, whether it be on a car or motorcycles, because it's quite an open road. There's quite a few hills, there's quite a few bends on it.
The traffic unit is still investigating all 4 crashes, but some riders say it's not the hills creating problems.
On Stoney Trail, yeah, a lot of construction. The roads this year are not the greatest. A lot of ruts. They're doing paving, and there's probably about a good 4-inch drop on between each lane, because they're gridding it and then laying down new asphalt.
This lip has been causing issues for both motorcycles and vehicles. The bump, paired with excessive speed, can be incredibly dangerous. So drivers are urged to just remember the fundamentals.
Put your head on a swivel, look around, keep out. It's multitasking times 10.
If you know there's construction on Stoney, go somewhere else. Get another way there.
Tim Brooke, CTV News, Calgary.
Police are investigating whether driver inattention factored into a 71-year-old woman being struck in the Killarney intersection this afternoon. Police say the senior was critically injured when she walked in front of a Kia Soul driven by a 66-year-old woman who did not appear to notice the pedestrian walking in an unmarked crosswalk. It happened at 26th Avenue and 34th Street Southwest. The driver stayed on scene and was not hurt. No word on charges. A woman in her 50s has died after a collision with a cyclist last Saturday. Police say the woman and her husband were walking on a pathway near Hidden Valley Drive Northwest when a 12-year-old on a bicycle crashed into the woman from behind. The woman suffered life-threatening injuries and later died in hospital. Police are investigating and have ruled out speed and impairment. Several cars were damaged after an early morning crash, and alcohol and speed are believed to be factors. Police say a 19-year-old man was driving quickly on McLeod Trail shortly after 2 a.m. and was fleeing a traffic stop when he tried to turn onto the westbound lanes of 58th Avenue. He slammed into the back of a parked car, causing a chain reaction that damaged 7 parked vehicles. Charges are pending. The search for suspects continues tonight after 2 men were shot early this morning in Taradale. Police say the pair were sitting in a vehicle on Tarawood Grove around 2:30 a.m. Both men were hit by bullets and taken to hospital with serious life-threatening injuries. Investigators believe this was a targeted attack. Advanced voting is underway in a hotly contested by-election in Battle River Crowfoot. With more than 200 candidates running, including Conservative Party leader Pierre Poilievre, the sheer number has left many voters frustrated. Others don't like Poilievre dropping in the Alberta riding, but others in the Conservative stronghold say the leader's voice in Ottawa could benefit the region. Tyson Fedor reports.
Voters in Drumheller are at the ballot box writing in their preference for who they want to represent them in Ottawa.
I don't feel that a blind conservative mindset necessarily is best.
I know he doesn't live in the riding, but the leader of the party really needs a seat in the House to do anything, so that's where my vote went.
214 people are looking for this rural Alberta seat vacated by Conservative Damien Currick after Pierre Poilievre lost his Ottawa area riding this spring. Elections Canada has decided to use an adapted ballot due to the number of names. The by-election is expected to cost about $2 million.
They've targeted me in 2 different ridings now, and the reality is I don't have a problem with anyone who wants to run for office, even if they're not known or not wealthy. They should be able to put their name on the ballot if they truly want to run.
Many have criticized Poilievre for parachuting into the Battle River Crowfoot riding, a Conservative stronghold, but others support the leader.
He'll represent us. Yeah, I understand why people are saying, but I don't feel that way.
I think there's a lot of people in this riding that want to see change, and then I also see a lot of people that are just angry at Pierre for picking our riding.
We're not going to see him. He's not going to do anything for us here.
The leader of the United Party of Canada says he is running to offer an alternative for Conservative voters, advocating for change and less Ottawa in Alberta.
It's really more about an independent Alberta versus continuing with Ottawa being in our lane, and this discussion about Pierre Poilievre's version of sovereignty.
While political experts believe Poilievre will win this race, but expect voter turnout to be low.
He will nonetheless interpret it as if he had just walked across the Atlantic Ocean without getting his feet wet.
Nobody's expecting him to lose the by-election, but if he doesn't win it by close to 83%, then questions are going to start being raised.
Questions on whether Poilievre is the right person to lead the Conservatives forward. Tyson Fedor, CTV News, Drumheller.
Advanced polls remain open this weekend and into Monday at several locations throughout the Battle River Crowfoot riding. Ballots can also be mailed in before Tuesday, or voters can go in person on Election Day, August 18th. The UCP government is not giving up in its effort to ban doctors from providing gender-affirming care to youth. The province is appealing the temporary injunction of its law. In June, a judge concluded that Bill 26 would cause irreparable harm to gender-diverse youth in Alberta and reinforce discrimination and prejudice they already face. The province is now arguing the injunction was premature since the law was not fully in effect. It also claims the judge made a mistake, deciding it would cause irreparable harm. Bielection Canada, which is challenging the UCP's law, says it respects the province's right to appeal, but believes the judge made the right decision. The United Church of Canada has issued an apology in Calgary to members of the LGBTQ+ community.
The act of apologizing is never the end of the work.
The church has been allowing LGBTQ+ members to become ordained since 1988, but says it's still important to acknowledge the shortcomings and the harm the church has caused to members of the community. The church says it's important to send a message that inclusion and acceptance are critical.
And as we see across the world now, there's a pushback on people having the opportunity to say, this is who I am, to be accepted and valued and celebrated for who they are. And we hope that that's one of the messages that will get out.
The apology was issued during the church's 45th General Council and during the United Church of Canada's 100th anniversary. Gina joins us now with a first look at the weather. So much to look forward to this weekend.
Yes. especially if you want to barbecue on Saturday. It's finally looking like a good forecast for that, because the last couple of weekends have been a little iffy out there. So finally, a nice sunny start to your Saturday. Some building cloud as we get into the evening, but really nothing impacting you from being outside. It'll be a comfortable high too of 22 degrees, which is a lot nicer than the 17 degrees we saw today. We'll start off with this change in weather conditions tonight with those nice clearing conditions and a low of 13. I'll have your full 5-day forecast coming up.
Thank you, Gina. Members of Calgary's film and TV industry say there have been fewer opportunities this year compared to the last 4 years. So it's welcome work to have a special episode of a TV series in its 19th season shoot in the area. Alicia Fieldberg was on set of Murdoch Mysteries as it took over a ranch near Turner Valley.
Really happy to be in Alberta. I love it here.
Detective Murdoch and Chief Constable Brackenreed are normally in Toronto, but an upcoming episode takes them to the original Calgary Stampede back in 1912.
You shoot stuff here all the time, but for a different show from a different city to come here, everybody's been so accommodating. And I mean, look at the place. It's fantastic.
The 3-day production for the long-running Canadian series Murdoch Mysteries comes during a slower year for the Alberta film and TV industry. Experts say lucrative tax breaks in Europe play a big part, so opportunities like this are important.
Really important. The whole market has kind of shifted, and we're seeing more co-production and more Canadian production.
While some of the crew is from Toronto, there are more than 80 local union workers, including sound mixers, camera technicians, and costume staff. And they have a lot of experience with the Old West.
It's half an hour to just stress this hat.
Yeah, that one
could look like it's from 1912.
The wonderful thing about the Calgary crew is they know how to do this.
Though filming a murder mystery can sometimes add to the workload.
We're going to be shooting somebody, so we had to buy him 4 different jackets.
Aside from the murder part, the episode will also highlight some real history, including Stampede founder Guy Wiedeck and rodeo champ Tom Three Persons.
Blessed to be able to be one of the shows that can actually tell part of that story and highlight some of the figures at the time and the people that actually competed, the people that organized.
It's an opportunity for this Calgarian, too. The teacher and Western history major was one of the more than 50 extras on set.
You know, rodeos weren't what we see today with the midway and the concessions and everything like that. It was a lot more scaled back and a lot more kind of the community. So it's really cool to see kind of what it would have actually been like and to give people a taste of that as well.
Audiences can get a taste of old-timey iconic Calgary when the episode comes out in January.
I get to ride a damn horse in this episode. Of course I do. Yeah, I'll need some help. Got to do a bit of roping too.
Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Turner Valley.
The Calgary Stampede episode is scheduled to air January 5th. The Calgary Zoo kept them in quarantine for a time. Now 2 orphan cougars from Alberta have a permanent home still to come. We'll show you where they ended up.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
Arts Commons is revealing some new details about their future theatre. Officials revealing the Austin Victor Playhouse, a 1,000-seat theatre being built across the street from the current Arts Commons location. They say it will help fill a gap in Calgary's current theatre market.
What we see missing even within our own ecosystem is that 1,000 to 1,200 seat theater. And when we zoom out and we look at Calgary, we realize that's also missing within the city. And so as Calgary continues to grow, so too will our cultural aspirations. And having a space that can accommodate that sort of gap right now, I think is pivotal for any creative artist that's wanting to develop new works.
Sarian says the venue could accommodate shows too big for the Max Bell Theatre, but too small for the Jubilee. The theatre is expected to open by late 2028. A major athletic competition for Indigenous athletes is not coming to Calgary after all. The council responsible for the North American Indigenous Games has retracted Calgary's hosting rights for 2027. The event attracts thousands of Indigenous athletes from Canada and the United States. In a statement, the governing body says despite working closely with the host society for 2 years, critical benchmarks could not be met. We have asked what criteria has not been met, but have not received any answers. In the coming weeks, there will be more information about where the 2027 games will take place. Officials are warning people to avoid swimming in the Cove Beach area of Chestermere Lake after elevated levels of fecal bacteria were detected. Alberta Health Services says the source of the bacteria is unknown. They warn any contact with the water could cause skin, eye, or ear infections. Other beaches on Chestermere Lake, including Anniversary Park and Sunset Park, are unaffected. 2 orphan cougar kittens we first told you about in the spring have a new home. Their mother was killed by a hunter near Canmore. As Christine Long reports, a rural Quebec zoo has now taken them in.
In February of this year in Alberta, a mother cougar was shot, leaving behind her babies, says Park Safari CEO Serge Lucier.
I have 2 cubs, 2 kittens, 5 months old, 4 or 5 months old. Out in the wild, they will die. They can't survive. I have 2 options. The provincial law says animals from the wild that cannot survive can be placed in an accredited zoological institution, CASA, for instance, as we are, or euthanized. We don't want to euthanize them.
He called on the Calgary and Vancouver zoos to hold the cubs while Park Safari revamped an enclosure for the siblings, who seem to be settling in, says Lucier.
Not as shy, the female a little more shy. Her security is her brother. That will change in time, right? That will change in time.
He adds that cougars are not an endangered species, yet certainly more rare than they used to be.
There used to be cougars all over eastern Canada. There's none in Ontario or Quebec. There's none east. There's none in eastern United States anymore. They used to be all over, right? Only out west. But let's protect what's left.
Park Safari has a naming contest for the 2 new residents to encourage families to get involved and learn more about these big, beautiful cats. Park Safari is open 12 months a year for visits, but nap time on a hot day means these cubs are usually just chilling. Christine Long, CTV News.
Well, Gina's up next with her Skywatch forecast. We have a great weekend in store, but you might want to keep that umbrella handy for a little bit of it. Gina has details next.
Well, the rain is finally moving out and the sun moving in, but take a look at that storm system moving into Saskatchewan now. But you see it has a bit of a comma shape to it. That is a characteristic mid-latitude cyclone for you. So obviously when we see these systems move in, they bring the rain, they drive down the temperatures, and they produce gusty winds as well. And we did see some breezy conditions in Calgary today. The strongest wind speeds clocked at the airport, 64 kilometers an hour. So with those northerly winds, it didn't help with the temperatures. So 17 was our high today. That's what we anticipated. Tomorrow, though, back into some more favorable temperatures, up to 22 in Calgary, so just a degree shy of the seasonal high of 23 degrees. We're in good company. Many areas in the province will be in the low to mid-20s tomorrow, and it'll just start to improve as we get through the weekend and into early next week. Some really nice above seasonal temperatures. Futurecast showing as we get into Saturday morning, more of this clearing happening, with the sunniest part of the day likely to be in the AM for tomorrow. And then we start to see some building cloud move in from the west northwest as we progress throughout Saturday. So more building cloud throughout the day. Temperatures pretty nice still, but winds will be out of the north. So if you have plans outside, this shouldn't impede them, but you just might want to bring a light sweater or something for the later evening hours. Cloudy to start Sunday, but then we get that nice clearing as this ridge of high pressure really starts to move in and get settled over the province at the end of the weekend there. So temperatures will, like I mentioned, improve nicely as we get through the next 3 days here into the mid to high 20s in some areas. And if you're joining us in Lethbridge or Medicine Hat, you can expect temperatures getting into the 30s, once again, low 30s, by the time we look at about Tuesday in the forecast here. In Calgary, not getting as warm, but still very nice out there. Look at that nice stretch of sunshine, really starting on Sunday right through to Tuesday with temperatures in the mid-20s. Then we start to see the dip as we get into Wednesday. Expect some more unsettled conditions moving in the afternoon, and then the longer range forecast suggesting temperatures back in the high teens into Thursday.
Thanks, Gina. The Calgary Stampeders are looking to pump the brakes on a mid-season losing streak, and a rookie on defense who has been turning heads wants to help get the squad back on track this weekend. Calvary FC is back in action this weekend as they host the Halifax Wanderers. Things are getting tight in the PCL standings with 3 teams in a battle for 3rd place. Calvary is tied with York United with 25 points. The Wanderers are just 1 point behind them. It's been a tough stretch for Calvary as they've lost 3 in a row. Now that they're back on home turf, they want to put an end to their losing ways and start another winning streak. Kickoff for tomorrow's game is 3 o'clock at Atco Field. The Okotoks Dogs are through to the next round of the playoffs. The Dogs took care of the Brooks Bombers 9-2 last night and won that first round series 2-0. The Dogs now move on to the West Final against the Sylvan Lake team. The West Final gets underway on Sunday at Siemens Stadium in Okotoks. The Calgary Stampeders will look to put an end to their 2-game losing streak tomorrow night. The defense played a big role in the Stamps beating the Winnipeg Blue Bombers already twice this season. And one of those playmakers is a rookie. Glenn Campbell has more.
Receivers out to the right. Brown's going to throw in his direction. It's taken away. Intercepted by Jaden Grant.
This is Jaden Grant's first year in the CFL, and the rookie's been making some big plays. The 27-year-old out of Portland, Oregon, is just happy to have a place to play and is loving life in the CFL.
I mean, really, it's been a blessing. It was a little bit of adjustment to the game down south, but I've been blessed with great coaching staff and great players around me that helped me adjust. And it's really just been an awesome experience being a part of it.
In 8 games with the Stamps, Grant has a pair of interceptions and 13 defensive tackles. Head coach Dave Dickinson says he's been one of the best rookies on the team.
Really smooth, settled in there. You know, doesn't make a lot of mental errors, which is surprising for a rookie. You know, even though he's young and a rookie, he's a pro. He really understands what it takes to take care of your body and do the right thing. So he's really fit in well.
That's just how I was coached to play the game, especially as a safety. Your job is to kind of protect and help everybody else and really make everybody else's job around me a little bit easier. So I try to do that wherever I am.
Being athletic runs in the family for the Grants. His dad, Brian, played 12 seasons in the NBA with the Sacramento Kings, the Portland Trail Blazers, the Miami Heat, the Los Angeles Lakers, and the Phoenix Suns. Jaden says he's learned a lot from his dad, no matter what sport he was playing.
One of the biggest things was how to approach the game as a professional. You know, I got to witness that firsthand growing up. But I think the biggest thing that I took away from my dad is how to be a good teammate. You know, how to put my teammates before myself, how to sacrifice and really do whatever it takes or whatever your team needs to do, and whatever your role may be.
Glenn Campbell, CTV Sports, Calgary.
Grant and the Calgary Stampeders will go up against the Bombers tomorrow. Kickoff for that game is a little after 5 o'clock at McMahon Stadium. All right, that's it for us here at CTV News at 11:30. Thank you for watching. Have a great weekend.